Hi everyone, welcome to the Monday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Well, area students will now have an easier time furthering their education thanks to a new partnership between Hopkinsville Community College and Western Kentucky University. This morning at HCC, officials signed a joint admissions program to help students who complete an associate's program transfer into a bachelor's degree program at the university with ease. WKU President Gary Ransdell says the new partnership will benefit the entire community.
We want to continue to make baccalaureate degrees possible, practical, and as efficient as we possibly can. So this joint admissions agreement that we signed today helps make a baccalaureate degree more readily available, more practical for the students at Hopkinsville Community College here. That through this joint admissions agreement, that ACC students have that automatic transition, in fact, no transition into a baccalaureate degree program.
Western Kentucky University currently has over 200 students jointly admitted through similar agreements with other technical colleges in the region. Well, jury selection got underway today for the fourth trial of a former Fort Campbell sergeant accused of killing his estranged wife and former mother-in-law. According to Brent Burke's grand jury indictment, he is charged with killing his estranged wife, Tracy, and her former mother-in-law, Karen Comer, on September 11, 2007 in Rineyville at Comer's home. Today's trial reportedly began with housekeeping items like introducing Burke's new defense team, being led by longtime attorney William Carter. In addition, Burke's defense team reportedly announced plans to call 6 witnesses when the hearing part of the trial begins sometime next week. 3 previous trials ended in a mistrial, which prompted Burke's fourth trial to get underway today. Police are investigating an armed robbery that occurred in Hopkinsville Friday night. A 17-year-old male reported to Hopkinsville police that around 10:30 Friday night he was walking home from work on South Fowler Avenue when 2 unknown black males in their late teens or early 20s wearing dark clothing and wearing dark bandanas on their face approached him. The victim told police that both suspects were brandishing black semi-automatic handguns, and one of the suspects took some cash and other items from him while pointing the gun at him. Both suspects then fled the scene. After dealing with various amounts of vandalism, the city of Mayfield has been forced to close Kiwanis Park. Mayor Teresa Cantrell said the city has continuously had to remove liquor bottles and other glass and trash from the park to make it safe for children. City officials say in the last week, vandals have torn up porta-johns, brand new basketball courts, trees, picnic tables, and shot out park lights, among other things. Cantrell said the city is working to place cameras throughout the park and reopen before prime park season begins in the next few weeks. A raid at an adult business in Hopkins County landed a Marion woman in jail for allegedly selling simulated controlled substances and distributing obscene material. According to Kentucky State Police, 57-year-old Joanne Warner of Marion was arrested on a warrant this morning at her home. State Police began an investigation on March 9th and served a search warrant at Dusty's Adult World on White City Road in Morton's Gap, which is operated by TSCS Group Incorporated. According to police, Warner is president of TSCS Group. Troopers reportedly found salvia, or a simulation of salvia, displayed in cases along with paraphernalia. Troopers also located numerous items that were of obscene nature, including DVDs and magazines. Warner is charged with 79 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia, 23 counts of prohibited practices concerning substances that simulate controlled substances, and 16 counts of distribution of obscene matter. She was lodged in the Hopkins County Detention Center. A Hopkins County man was arrested for trafficking meth and other drug charges after a joint operation by the Madisonville Police Department Narcotics Unit and Pennyrile Narcotics Task Force. The Hopkins County Sheriff's Office reported today that a search warrant was executed Friday at 90 East Louisville Street in Nortonville, where investigators found several bags of methamphetamine packaged for sale, marijuana, scales, drug paraphernalia, and U.S. currency. Authorities arrested and charged 44-year-old Franklin Duncan with trafficking in a controlled substance, meth, possession of marijuana under 8 ounces, and possession of drug paraphernalia. He was booked into the Hopkins County Detention Center on a $10,000 bond. Fulton police made several drug arrests over the weekend. 19-year-old Tracy Ward of Fulton was issued a citation Friday as part of a social service investigation on 4th Street and given a court date to appear for possession of marijuana. 32-year-old Chantrell Connor of Fulton was arrested Friday after a shots fired call on Vine Street and a brief foot pursuit with police. According to police, Connor tried to discard a baggie of suspected marijuana and a baggie of suspected powder cocaine. He was lodged in the Fulton County Detention Center on charges of possession of marijuana and a controlled substance, cocaine, fleeing, evading police, and other offenses. On Saturday, 19-year-old Allison Cohagen of South Fulton, Tennessee, was arrested after a traffic stop on the Purchase Parkway, and she was charged with possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia and other offenses. Another traffic stop on North Highland Drive landed 19-year-old Cassandra Harris and her passenger, 21-year-old Jesse Gott, both of Mayfield, in jail for possessing marijuana, open alcoholic beverages in a vehicle, and other offenses. And 27-year-old Darcy Hooper of Fulton was arrested on an outstanding warrant out of Indiana for absconding from probation and probation violation on manufacturing meth charges. She was lodged in the Fulton County Detention Center. Well, 2 Marshall County residents landed in jail facing drug charges after police went to a Hardin residence to serve a warrant and reportedly smelled a strong odor of marijuana coming from inside the apartment. 25-year-old Autumn Woodley and 25-year-old Jeffrey Eklund, both of Gilbertsville, were taken into custody at Hilldale Apartments by the Marshall County Sheriff's Department and charged with possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia. According to the report, deputies responded to the apartments to locate a subject in reference to a bench warrant. Woodford and Eklund were lodged in the Marshall County Detention Center. 3 Hopkinsville residents were arrested on drug trafficking charges after police responded to a loud music call on East 18th Street. Hopkinsville police reportedly smelled and observed marijuana in plain view when they arrived at the home on East 18th and obtained a search warrant. During a search of the home, police reportedly found narcotics and paraphernalia, along with a 12-gauge shotgun in the possession of a convicted felon, a large amount of money, and an infant child where the drug activity was taking place. Police arrested and charged 38-year-old Arthur Dixon and his live-in girlfriend, 28-year-old Latoria Claudetta Cadet, with trafficking in marijuana within 1,000 yards of a school, firearm enhanced, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, endangering the welfare of a child, and possession of drug paraphernalia. In addition, Dixon was charged with tampering with physical evidence, and once he was taken to jail, he was charged with first-degree promoting contraband after officers found a baggie of marijuana in his rectum. Police also found 20-year-old Dedrick Deason Brody in a closet with a small bag of marijuana in his pocket, a blunt, and nearly $660 on him. Brody was arrested and charged with trafficking in marijuana within 1,000 yards of a school, firearm enhanced, and 2 counts of tampering with physical evidence. Police say there were also multiple warrants issued for Brody. All 3 subjects were lodged in the Christian County Jail. Graves County Schools received over $8,000 last year through the F&B Graves County Spirit Debit Card. The rewards program allowed F&B customers to give back to Graves County Schools every time they used their debit card. The Spirit Card works like any other F&B checking account and functions like a normal debit card, but it earns money for the schools. F&B donated 10 cents to the schools for each signature-based transaction. Schools receive the donated funds on a quarterly basis. F&B Bank is Mayfield's oldest bank and also offers Spirit debit cards for Mayfield and Lone Oak schools. Well, starting today, weeknights, Source16 viewers will have new opportunities to catch programs of local interest. Most importantly, instead of being able to see Source16 news twice nightly, we'll increase our playbacks to 4 times. You'll continue to see Source16 news at 6 and 10 p.m. We've also added a replay of the 6 o'clock news at 8 p.m. and a replay of the 10 o'clock news at 11:30. In addition, we're adding a national newscast twice nightly with news from INN available at 6:30 and 10:30. And if you miss the 5 o'clock showing of The Scene, we'll be adding a late night replay Monday through Thursday at 11 o'clock. Finally, to make sure you get plenty of statewide news and UK sports, our WKYT news playbacks move to 8:30 every night. Well, here's a look at some upcoming chamber events brought to you by the Hopkinsville Christian County Community Vision Plan. A ribbon cutting will be held at Pennyrile Children's Advocacy Center Wednesday at noon at 409 East 7th Street to celebrate their grand opening. The Hopkinsville Christian County Chamber of Commerce Agribusiness Committee is celebrating National Agriculture Week with an eye-opener breakfast and special recognition of leaders in agriculture. That's Thursday morning at 7:30 at the Christian County Extension Office at 2850 Pembroke Road. To RSVP, contact Amy Midgett Blacklock by tomorrow, 270-885-9096. And the Trilogy Center for Women invites you to join them for a legislative reception announcing the newly formed Trilogy Foundation Board on Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30 at the home of Tony and Jackie Jones, 201 Wellington Way, Hopkinsville. The Trilogy Foundation Board will be composed of all women, 100 members only. Buy-in is $1,000 with the option of becoming a Cumbie Society member for an additional $750. For more information, contact Virginia Gray at 270-484-0470. Well, these chamber events are brought to you by the Hopkinsville Christian County Vision Plan.